You're listening to the Digest This podcast, and I'm your host, Bethany Cameron. Protein powders. Do you consume them? A lot of Americans do. A lot of people in the entire world do, not just Americans. And today I wanted to bring to light, not necessarily the brands, but I want to bring to light a lot of the ingredients that are in very popular protein powders. And I did choose some brands just to highlight because I did some research, a little detective under the cover research, and I found out some interesting things about some of the brands that I am going to mention, that some ingredients are not even listed in the ingredient list, and I'll get to that in a second. But to me, transparency is everything. So it's one thing to list everything and then make the consumer decide if they want to consume it, right? But then it's another thing to just hide stuff. Another thing I have an issue with is marketing. You know, they may list certain ingredients on the package, but they market it as gut health, clean, X, Y, and Z. It's going to help you de-bloat. It's going to help with your IBS, when on the contrary, many of these ingredients in these protein powders are actually causing IBS. So I want to get into that in a second. So I know that's why you're here. That's why you tuned in. So without further ado, I have a question for you all. What's antibacterial, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, contains antioxidants, improves oral health and digestive support, and contributes to wound healing? If you guessed Manuka honey, then you're absolutely right. Every time I talk about Manuka honey from New Zealand on my Instagram, I always get messages from my followers telling me how much they appreciate me introducing this ancient healing honey to them and their family. A little goes a long way, and this honey should be saved for medicinal purposes, not baking into cakes or cookies. It's something I always have in my pantry because it never spoils, ever. And a tiny teaspoon daily is all you need to get the endless benefits, both internally and if you apply it externally on your face for breakouts or even burns. Its potent healing powers work wonders. Manuka honey contains 3 times more antioxidants than your typical sweetener and the special antibacterial compound called MGO. The higher the MGO count, the more of these antibacterial compounds exist in the honey. It's hard to find Manuka honey with an MGO above 500, but Manuka guarantees an MGO of at least 850. Now it's easier than ever to get Manuka honey. Just head on over to manuka.com/digest to save $70 on their starter kit, which comes with an 850 plus MGO Manuka honey jar, 5 honey travel sticks, a wooden spoon, and a guidebook. That's manuka.com/digest to save $70 plus $25 worth of free gifts. That's manuka.com/digest. A large 2022 meta-analysis found that people who consumed the highest amount of olive oil were 31% less likely to develop cancer. This may be due to the antioxidants in olive oil, which may help reduce oxidative damage caused by free radicals, which is a leading driver of cancer. A 2023 study found that olive oil was linked with lower inflammatory markers in people with rheumatoid arthritis, especially for more severe disease activity. Olive oil contains compounds that may inhibit and even kill harmful bacteria. One of these is H. pylori, which is a bacterium that lives in your stomach and may cause stomach ulcers and even stomach cancer. Studies have found that extra virgin olive oil may help fight against certain strains of this bacterium. Needless to say, start taking olive oil daily, but don't just pick any olive oil off the fluorescent lit store shelves, because all the beneficial compounds I just mentioned are most likely gone, rancid, and oxidized. Not to mention, some brands even cut their olive oil with other products such as seed oils to stretch a buck and make more profit. Have you even looked at the date the olive oil in your kitchen was produced? Most likely, it's over a year or 2 old. Casandrino's olive oil is different. They own their own farm in Greece, harvest their olives, press the olives, and bottle their extra virgin organic oil all in the same day. They ship it straight to America to arrive at your doorstep as little as 2 weeks from production. So you know you are getting the freshest, cleanest, and highest antioxidant olive oil available. This stuff is like medicine, and you can see and taste the difference in the color when you compare it to other olive oils. So stop buying rancid, oxidized, old olive oil from the store and get the freshest olive oil to benefit your health and make your meals taste 10 times better. Get 25% off if you go to casandrinos.com/digest and use code DIGEST at checkout. You can also click the link in today's show notes, which will automatically apply the 25% off discount. Again, you can go to casandrinos.com/digest and use the code DIGEST. Now, I think it's very important before we get into the brands to explain some of the ingredients, because if I just say X brand has this ingredient in it, I don't like it. Well, what does that ingredient mean? So let's just run down what these ingredients in common, or the common ingredients in popular protein powders. Obviously, different sweeteners. So I want to talk about allulose for a second. So allulose, it's become very popular. I actually have a 2016 blog post on my website, littlesipper.com, talking about allulose. And here we are many years later, and there's studies and reports to come out that it can cause gastrointestinal discomfort, such as bloating, gas, and diarrhea. It can contribute to plaque formation and gum disease if consumed in excessive amounts. So obviously, if you're not consuming it in excess, but allulose is in not just protein powders, it's in so many different low calorie, low carb sweets and baked goods. And if you do consume a lot of protein powder, you could be accumulating this. Allulose can also promote the growth of certain gut bacteria that can be associated with metabolic disorders. Allulose isn't approved for use in Canada or Europe, and I can't help but wonder why. Now let's talk about stevia. A lot of you already know my stance and view on stevia. It doesn't matter if it's organic, non-GMO, the purest, cleanest stevia powder out there. I actually have a reel on my Instagram showcasing how stevia gets from a green leaf to the white powder. If you haven't seen that reel, go ahead and check that out. But stevia is made by using Reb A, which is a type of refined stevia extract alongside other sweeteners like maltodextrin and erythritol. Now, during processing, the leaves are soaked in water and passed through a filter with alcohol to isolate Reb A. Later, the extract is dried, crystallized, and combined with other sweeteners and fillers. Now, you may think that the pure kind, quote, pure kind, is better, but compared to stevia blends, the pure extracts undergo many of the same processing methods. They're just not combined with other sweeteners or sugar alcohols, but the processing is basically the same. And stevia goes through a 42-step process. I have the Google patent that I shared on my blog, littlesipper.com, and I also shared on my Instagram. Now, it's been reported that stevia is an endocrine disruptor, as well as it can alter the gut microbiome. There was a 2016 study. The study stated that stevia increases production of progesterone while antagonizing, aka blocking, its receptor. The study specifically looked at the progesterone receptor cat spur in sperm. Progesterone is essential for female and reproductive health, obviously, including maintaining pregnancy, regulating the menstrual cycle, and fertility. In fact, progesterone receptor antagonists are used to clinically as contraceptives and to terminate pregnancy. This information seems to confirm an impact of stevia on fertility, perhaps explaining the efficacy of the traditional use of the stevia plant to control fertility in women of the Indian tribes in southern Brazil. So if you look that up, way long ago, they were using stevia as a contraceptive for those that did not want to get pregnant. Aside from the endocrine disrupting of stevia, stevia can also cause gas, bloating, and headaches in many individuals. And if you consume stevia regularly, or if it's in many items you consume, you may not even notice it's causing harm to you. But until you remove it from your diet, just for a month, I strongly encourage you to, and just see what happens. You may not feel anything after a month. This was actually the case for me over 10 years ago when I did this. I took stevia out of my diet for a month, and then I reintroduced it back into my diet. And that's when I noticed all of the side effects. I just was living with these side effects and thinking it was normal, right? So I strongly encourage you, remove stevia from your diet and all of the things you eat. See how you feel, and then reintroduce it and see how it tastes, see how our body reacts. Most likely your body got used to feeling like crap and your taste buds were compromised. It's like people who eat McDonald's every day. They don't know how horrible they feel until they stop eating McDonald's, right? I also want to point out there was a 2014 study that showed stevia dramatically inhibited growth and activity of 6 Lactobacillus reuteri strains. This is an extremely important probiotic for human health and a keystone resident of a healthy and diverse gut microbiome. A 2019 study evaluated the impact of stevia with or without prebiotic supplementation on gut permeability and the gut microbiome. And it showed that stevia could blunt some of the gut health benefits of prebiotics. Now let's talk about monk fruit. I know that's a hot sweetener, and many people say that, oh, it's the best sweetener, but some people may experience gastrointestinal side effects after consuming monk fruit, such as bloating or gas, and even headaches. I personally experience all of them, headaches included, you guys. I mean, I almost feel it coming on within minutes of consuming monk fruit. I also hate the taste as it lingers in my mouth for hours and causes an itchy, almost scratchy feeling in my throat. If you have ever removed all of these 0-calorie sweeteners from your diet, then you know monk fruit tastes artificial. Even the purest of pure monk fruit, organic, pure, whatever, it tastes artificial, and it just has that artificial, fake, sweet taste. If you guys know, you know, right? So let me talk about xylitol. Again, it can cause gas, bloating, diarrhea, and in very high doses, xylitol can be toxic to the liver. Xylitol can also interact with certain medications, so please be careful, especially if you take meds. It's also very important to note it's extremely toxic to dogs. So if you have furry friends around, you have to be extra careful not to spill any powders containing xylitol. But honestly, you guys, with all the side effects of xylitol, why even have it in your home and for your family to consume in the first place, right? It's just like all these other sweeteners. And I do call them fake, even though they say monk fruit and stevia are natural. They're not natural anymore once they're taken out of its context, right? Out of its form. Because the powder is not what is growing on a tree or the leaf, right? Now, I want to talk about natural flavors, but I don't want to talk about it because I think I've already banged that drum. You guys that listen to me already know natural flavors are not natural at all, and natural flavors are in so many things. In fact, they're the number 4 ingredient in products in general, not just protein powders, but anything. It's like, first it's water, then it's salt. And then I want to say maybe it's either sugar, but natural flavors is in like the top 3 or 4 ingredients in all products. That's sad. And what many people may not realize, maybe you're new to the podcast or to my Instagram page, natural flavors can be comprised of 100 different sub-ingredients. So you can say natural flavors, slap that on a label, but you're not required by law to list the 100 ingredients in those natural flavors. And by the way, natural flavors are produced in a lab. You don't think that they're just putting a syringe in an orange, extracting the flavor and injecting it into your protein powder, you guys. You have to think, what is a natural flavor? How is it made? And all that stuff. I have a post on my Instagram. I got, I think, over 1 million views about how natural flavors are actually created in a lab and they're not natural at all. You need to check that out. One more thing about natural flavors, they're hijacking your taste buds. They're making things more heightened. They're making a strawberry not taste like a strawberry anymore. So if you're used to eating things with natural flavors and then you eat like a strawberry, you're like, well, this doesn't taste sweet. It doesn't taste like it has any flavor. It's because your taste buds are hijacked and you're needing heightened things. Please remove natural flavors and enjoy what food is supposed to really taste like. Quick note about coconut creamer and coconut milk powder. Now, this powder is often added to protein powders, and it's in some of the powders that I'm going to be talking about. So coconut milk powder or coconut creamer, they contain maltodextrin, either from tapioca or corn. Either way, it's maltodextrin that is not disclosed in many protein powders, or when you read the label or see ingredient and it says coconut milk powder. There's sub-ingredients in the coconut milk powder and it's maltodextrin, either from corn or tapioca. All right. So keep that in mind. It's very, very uncommon to have a pure coconut milk powder. Not to say it doesn't exist out there, but I have yet to see it. Soluble corn fiber and vegetable fiber. Let's talk about this ingredient, you guys, because this can guess what, you guys? It can cause gastrointestinal issues like bloating, gas, cramping, and diarrhea. Soluble corn fiber may suppress the proliferation of beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria and increase the number of harmful bacteria in your digestive tract. Let me say that again. Soluble corn fiber and vegetable fiber, it actually can suppress the good bacteria and increase the bad bacteria, okay? This can make you more susceptible to gut dysbiosis and a lowered immune system. In one medical journal published, research showed that soluble corn fiber increases the survival of salmonella bacteria, which can cause gastrointestinal diseases, obviously, and a broad range of chronic inflammatory conditions. Ironically, this soluble corn fiber is put into, quote, gut supporting probiotics. I was going to say probiotics, but gut supporting protein powder. And they're marketing as, hey, it's going to help your gut. It's going to help your IBS. It has fiber in it, right? This is doing the exact opposite. It's harming your gut. All right. Very similar to if you see the ingredient inulin, FOS, prebiotic, IMO, which stands for isomaltoglyceride, okay? All of these are basically the same thing. These ingredients, again, I'm going to say inulin, FOS, prebiotic, IMO, isomaltoglyceride. These ingredients cause bloating, gas, abdominal cramping, and loose stools and diarrhea. Inulin is a FODMAP ingredient or product, right? People on a low FODMAP diet, they have to avoid this and they should be extra careful with inulin as it can worsen symptoms. People with conditions like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis have reported increased symptoms, all right? Stay away from those. Gums, I talk about gums all the time, whether that's guar gum, xanthan gum, locust bean gum, acacia gum, or acacia fiber, same thing, okay? There's different ways of stating this on a label, but they're all different gums. They come from different sources, but they all serve and act as the same thing. They serve the same purpose and they act the same way in your body. Side effects are gastrointestinal discomfort, including increased gas, bloating, and softer stools or diarrhea. Some gums, like carrageenan and cellulose gum, have also been linked in animal studies to more serious gut issues such as inflammation or intestinal lesions. Regardless, the very minimal side effect from these gums, such as guar gum, xanthan gum, locust bean gum, and acacia, and the like, will cause gas, cramps, and bloating. And if you have ever experienced severe painful gas, when it's trapped and it can't get out and be released, then you know it's no joke. Many people even go to the hospital because of the pain, not knowing it's just gas because it's that severe. Gums are just a filler and a way to cheapen products and bulk up the powder. You may find that it volumizes the powder and the smoothie you make with it. But think about this. If it tends to volumize a smoothie, imagine the volumizing it does inside your gut. Last ingredient I want to call out, and then we're going to get to the brands here, but I want to talk about glycerin. You may say glycerin, you may say glycerin, but vegetable glycerin is not vegetable oil. I actually just did a bite of knowledge on what vegetable glycerin is, but it's derived from vegetable oils. It's colorless, odorless, and sweet-like tasting. It's more of a liquid, but it can be in a powder, but more so liquid. It's commonly used as a sweetener or a preservative in foods. It acts as many different ways because it is sweet. Some people just add it, some companies add it to sweeten it without, quote, adding calories. But it's also a preservative as well. So you may find vegetable glycerin in tinctures that say alcohol-free. So it's generally considered safe for consumption, of course, right? But some potential side effects may occur in certain individuals. Individuals with kidney or liver disease should consult with their healthcare provider before consuming large amounts of glycerin. And of course, it's all about accumulation. A little here, a little there. Same thing with all of the ingredients I just listed. So if you're consuming a lot of protein powder, maybe you have a protein shake every day. I do. I have at least one protein shake every single day, but I make sure that the protein powders I use are pure and clean, and I vouch for them. All right, let's talk about some of the brands that I am gonna review. I don't know an easier way to put it in. I pour my heart and soul into this podcast, my Instagram and social media outlets, and put so much sweat and tears into creating the Bethany's Pantry line of digestive support powders and supplements. My protein contains no stevia, no monk fruit, no gums, fillers, no natural flavors, or gut irritants. It's made with pure European yellow pea protein, where we even take the extra step into removing the lectins, which are the anti-nutrients found in peas and legumes, and often what makes people bloated when consuming them. That's why countless people come back and tell me that my protein is the only protein powder they can consume without any digestive discomfort. And because we source our pea protein from Europe, I can assure you it's not sprayed with glyphosate, because it's actually illegal in Europe to spray pea crops with such chemicals. Europe's standards and regulations on growing crops are far superior than American standards, and that's why I am proud to use such a source for my clean, easy to digest protein powder. The testimonies I receive are so inspiring and quite emotional from those dealing with Crohn's, colitis, IBD, IBS, and related gut issues. So thank you for your continued support to my mission to provide cleaner options for those needing alternative sources for their health. And to express my gratitude, I want to offer everyone a one-time $10 off discount. Just go to bethanysPantry.com and use code podcast10 for $10 off anything. Again, go to bethanysPantry.com and use code podcast10 for $10 off anything. This is a one-time use code, so use it wisely.
When it comes to wedding planning, the questions, I swear, never end. Do you need to send virtual invites? What are you supposed to do if someone in the wedding party goes AWOL? And do I really need a prenup? Whether you're just getting started, waiting for them to hop the question, or counting down the days, we have you covered on Bridechilla. We cover hot topics and top wedding trends with some of the biggest names in the business. No unnecessary traditions, no crazy drama, just practical advice to help you and your partner stay focused on what truly matters. So, if you're looking to stay sane while planning your big day, check out Bridechilla wherever you listen to your podcasts.
All right, first brand up is Flave City. I see this a lot on my Instagram. I even see quote health influencers promote this, and I'm a little bit disheartened because some of these people I love and I are really great. I love them, but then I see them and I can't help but wonder if they're being paid to promote this. And most of the time they are. I can't say for certain, right? But it's pretty clear to me. And Flave City, they have a vegan, plant-based one. And then they also have a different option, which contains whey protein. So I'm going to go over both. The whey protein one, it's whey protein. I'm going to read the ingredients. Whey protein concentrate, is organic banana powder, organic coconut milk powder, which if you remember, coconut milk powder has maltodextrin in it and it's not disclosed here. Now, I did reach out to the owner. They said that their coconut milk powder does not contain maltodextrin. So that's good. But then I did take it a step further and I emailed the company, emailed the brand. They, again, confirmed there's no maltodextrin in their coconut milk powder. And then I said, thank you so much. Can you tell me where you get it? Where's the source? Because I've never heard of any supplier that doesn't make coconut milk powder without maltodextrin. Because if you don't know, I have my own protein powder line and we've been trying to find sources for a long time for coconut milk powder without maltodextrin, and they all contain it. We've searched for, I think, 2 years, you guys, 2 years. So I am in this space. I'm not just a random person off the street. I'm in this space. I have my own protein powder company. We could not find a coconut milk powder without maltodextrin. So when I asked the company, well, where's your source? What company are you getting this from? I got ghosted. They didn't respond. It's been over a month now. I gave them plenty of time. No response. They just dropped the conversation. So that to me is a little red flag, a little sus. So I can't say, it's like a he said, she said thing. But again, I am in this space and I've yet to find a supplier. So I'm very curious to where they're getting this coconut milk powder. And the fact that I got ghosted and no response is a little disheartening. Again, not bashing the owner. I think the guy's great, behind it. I'm just a little disappointed in the ingredients. They also contain in this same protein powder mix, the whey. On top of that, it contains stevia leaf extract and monk fruit extract. Now, both of them are organic. I appreciate that. But again, as I had mentioned, stevia alters the gut microbiome. It's an endocrine disruptor. Monk fruit causes gas and bloating, as well as stevia. So this protein powder contains both sweeteners, which I haven't tasted it, but I can imagine it's crazy sweet. So again, just think about that. Flave City also has a plant-based protein powder. It also contains organic coconut milk powder, monk fruit, and stevia, among other ingredients. But those were the ones that stood out to me. Again, causes gas, bloating. These ingredients can really alter the gut microbiome. And so this is why I personally would not consume them. And that's why I'm a little bit hesitant on that. Flave City also came out with a instant vanilla latte or instant coffee lattes. And I'm surprised they use allulose in their lattes, and they also use soluble corn fiber. It's non-GMO, but it's soluble corn fiber regardless. So to me, it doesn't matter if it's non-GMO. You know what corn fiber and soluble corn fiber can do to the gut, as I previously mentioned. And then allulose, again, so these ingredients, I'm very surprised that they started adding these ingredients to their products. I do hope that they can find better ingredients for this, but I'm sorry, but I will not be personally consuming these. Let's talk about the brand Clean Simple Eats. Now I'm going to read off the ingredients in their Simply Vanilla flavor, right? Because keep in mind, every flavor does have a little bit different ingredients, but this is their Simply Vanilla. It's grass-fed whey protein, contains xylitol, which I just talked about that. So that's a no for me. Contains natural flavors. All right. That's a red flag. Coconut creamer. And I did reach out to the company. I emailed them and they confirmed they do use maltodextrin in their coconut creamer. It is from tapioca. So tapioca maltodextrin, not corn maltodextrin, but maltodextrin nonetheless, and it is not listed in their ingredient or on the ingredient label. It just says coconut creamer. So I think that they should disclose that there is maltodextrin in there. It also contains xanthan gum, stevia, and monk fruit. So again, 2 sweeteners. Why are companies using these 2 sweeteners together? I feel like one is already overly sweet enough. But anyways, so gums, these sweeteners, the coconut creamer, the xylitol, 3, it actually had xylitol too. So 3 sweeteners. This is crazy. This must be crazy sweet. I've never tried it. So the Clean Simple Eats protein is a no for me personally. Let's talk about the brand Orgain. Okay. So this is their chocolate fudge. I'm going to read the ingredients off of their chocolate fudge flavor. It's a protein blend. So there's pea protein, brown rice protein. I'm not a fan of rice protein in general. It tends to be high in arsenic. I'm not saying this brand is high in arsenic, but a lot of rice protein is high in arsenic. So just be aware of that in general. It also has mung bean protein and chia seed. And then it has a creamer base, which is acacia, which is typically acacia gum or acacia fiber. I stay away from that personally. It has sunflower oil in it, which is interesting. So there's seed oils in this one. They also use rice dextrin, which is not maltodextrin. Rice dextrin is different, but it has very similar compounds, and it could be interchangeable as far as using it in some sort of like formulation. But again, dextrin. And then it has inulin fiber. So I talked about the inulin before, how it can cause gas and bloating, inulin fiber. And this is something that a lot of brands, not just this, but a lot of brands, when they have inulin fiber in it, they say that that is a gut promoting, that's gut healthy, it's going to help your IBS, when in fact, from personal experience, it can do the exact opposite. It also has xanthan gum, guar gum, and stevia. So gums, stevia, inulin, seed oils, this is definitely a no for me. I want to talk now about the brand Kachava. Now, they have different flavors, chocolate, vanilla. They all contain a fiber blend like acacia. They also have soluble vegetable fiber, which I previously talked about. If you guys remember, they have coconut milk in one of their flavors, the coconut acai, and it just says coconut milk, and they don't have any sub-ingredients listed. So I reached out to the brand. I feel like I gave them plenty enough time to respond. They ghost, no, nothing. No response. So that to me is a red flag. They also contain, of course, these so-called, 0-calorie sweeteners. It has guar gum, xanthan gum. I mean, I'm reading off the ingredients right here, and I'm trying to take out what I see because there's so many ingredients. That should be a red flag right there. If a protein powder has like more than 6 ingredients, like don't even bother. Like so many ingredients, and that's just causing a lot of trouble to your gut in general. So keep it simple, you guys. How many ingredients are in these, you guys? Even if it's like, oh, but it's just super fruits and super powders and vitamins and all these things. Like, I don't even want too many super powders or super fruits, because even that can cause digestive, even if they're good things, right? Too many at one time can cause digestive upset. It's like eating a huge salad, right? Keep it simple. It also has natural flavors, the Kachava brand. So again, I just hate seeing natural flavors because it could be like 100 different ingredients and they're not required to tell you what those ingredients are. Super sketch. So the brand Kachava for me is a hard pass. The brand Supergut. So the name just popped out at me, right? Supergut, you would think, wow, this is for your gut. It's supposed to help with your digestion, all these things. So first of all, it has milk protein concentrate. I'm not saying milk is a bad thing, but if you are sensitive to dairy, that's a first ingredient right there. And then it has a quote, Supergut, it looks like it's trademarked, blend. It's a fiber blend of soluble vegetable fiber from corn. Okay. I'm laughing right now because you guys, I really hope that I really hope that you listen to this and this will maybe change your gut health just by knowing what are in these products, because you could be deceived. I'm sorry, but it has a huge different list of fiber blends. Again, one of them is vegetable fiber from corn. It has stevia and allulose. It has sunflower oil, so it has a seed oil, and then it has different gums. Acacia fiber has a xanthan gum, gore gum, natural chocolate flavor, which is a natural flavor. Again, what else does it have in here? This is definitely a hard no for me, the Supergut brand. So let me talk about just ingredients. I think this is another popular protein powder. I'm going to read off the ingredients in the French vanilla protein powder specifically. So it's grass-fed whey protein. So it does contain dairy. And then it has coconut milk. And then it has collagen, pea protein. And then it has monk fruit. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, it also has chia seed protein. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of protein. It has collagen, whey, pea protein, chia seed protein. To me, that's too many types of protein in one protein powder. Like imagine eating fish, chicken, steak, and eggs. Like there's too many proteins. Like literally though, that's for me. I try and keep, if I have a protein powder, I'll mix like maybe some collagen and my own protein powder, like pea, or a beef protein powder and collagen. But I'm not going to mix like 3 to 4 different proteins at once. To me, that's causing some gut issues. Okay. Now they do have coconut milk in this. I reached out to the company and I asked if their coconut milk contains maltodextrin, and if so, from what source, either tapioca or corn. And this was their response. And I quote, "We are happy to confirm that our protein powder does not contain any corn maltodextrin. If we use a carrier at all, we choose tapioca starch instead." End quote. So it's nice to see that they're honest and open about it. On their label, underneath, it does say with tapioca starch contains dairy and coconut. So they are at least listing the carrier, which I can applaud them for. I'm still not a fan of the monk fruit. And then, of course, if you can't have whey or dairy, it does contain dairy. So that is that. Do keep in mind, it is a whey protein-based protein powder. So if you do have dairy sensitivities, maybe this isn't for you. It also contains monk fruit. Again, for me personally, monk fruit bloats me. It gives me headaches and it tastes super artificial to me. So I just can't do it. But again, applaud them for at least, being open and honest and communicating. Some companies didn't even respond. So I did mention, and you probably are already aware, that I do have my own protein powder line called Bethany's Pantry. It was developed in 2018. So it's been a while now. And since then, it's helped people with their Crohn's disease, with ulcerative colitis, IBS. It's helped children, pregnant women. It's helped the elderly and everyone in between. And the really cool thing about my protein powder is, one, we source the pea proteins from Europe. They are golden European pea protein. And the really cool thing about my protein is that we source the peas from Europe. So they are yellow European peas, and the pea crops in Europe, it's actually prohibited to spray glyphosate on pea crops in Europe. So there's no chance that they're spraying glyphosate because it's illegal to do so. And so it's not organic, but it has higher standards than organic. We are a very small brand. I've talked about this before, but you have to pay the USDA Organic Association to get verified, to have that stamp on your product. You have to pay the Non-GMO Project the stamp, right? It's like going to the farmer's market. You know that these produce crops are organic, but they're small farmers. They can't afford to pay USDA Organic, the whole organization, to get their farmers market certified organic, but it's organic. It's the same thing with us. We're a small brand. And so it actually has higher standards than organic standards here in the US, okay? That's number one. The second thing that's really cool is that it's lectin free. So it's pea protein, but we remove the lectin. So we take that extra step in removing the anti-nutrients, which is commonly the cause of a lot of gas and bloating in other pea proteins. So that's why so many people say and come back to me and they're like, I've tried so many pea proteins. Your protein powder is the only one that doesn't upset my gut. Why is that? That's because we remove the lectins, so it's easier to digest and the protein is more bioavailable. Obviously, my protein is stevia free, monk fruit free. There's no gluten. We test for gluten. There's no gums, no xanthan gum, no guar gum, none of that. And there's no natural flavors. We put vanilla bean, real vanilla bean in the vanilla protein. We put cacao in the cacao protein, and the strawberry protein. We use dehydrated strawberries and a little beet to flavor and color the strawberry flavor. There's no inulin, no FOS or added fibers of any kind that commonly cause more digestive upsets. And the things that it does contain, I specifically formulated this. So I personally created this protein powder. So I chose to put in Bacillus coagulans, which is a certain type of probiotic. Studies have shown that this specific probiotic can help with gut issues specifically. So certain probiotics can help your skin. It can help, your mood. It can help all these different things. But this specific probiotic can help people with digestive issues. I also wanted to add L-glutamine, which is an amino acid. It's not an essential amino acid. I'll get to that in a second. But L-glutamine is an amino acid that has been proven to help rebuild and restore the gut lining. So if your gut lining is compromised, L-glutamine is a huge benefit. It's something you should be taking. I even have an L-glutamine powder. It's pure L-glutamine on bethanysPantry.com as well. And I take that L-glutamine powder every single day along with, my protein, but my protein powder also has the L-glutamine. Now, speaking of essential amino acids, many people may say, well, it's a plant protein. It doesn't have all 9 essential amino acids. Our protein powder is very rare, and it actually does. It has all 9. So it is a complete protein. Many plant proteins are not complete proteins, but ours is. So that's a plus as well. We do lightly sweeten it with coconut sugar. There's only 4 grams of sugar per 2 scoop serving. So within 2 scoops, there's 4 grams of sugar. That's like nothing. And I would choose that over any other fake sweetener out there. There is 20 grams of complete protein. So as I mentioned, all 9 essential amino acids, 20 grams of complete protein. I think one flavor has 19 grams, one has 21. It just kind of varies because, sometimes there's like some more coconut cacao powder in it, which kind of, I don't want to say diminishes the protein, but the more stuff you have in a protein powder, the less protein it will have. So for example, I have the protein bake. That's like 25 grams because it's just the protein. That's it, right? We're not adding the vanilla bean. We're not adding the strawberry powder. So if you are looking for an unflavored, the protein bake is the way to go. One more thing about Bethany's Pantry, we do heavy metal testing. We test for arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury. We have a microbiological and allergen testing, so there's no mold. It is non-GMO. Of course, it's tested for other things as well, other toxins. Again, third-party tested, right? And we share those test results. You can find it on the website, and you can see the most recent test results for every single flavor, right? It's not just one flavor and we just pretend like it's all of them. We have different test results for every single flavor. So we're very proud of the test results. They all come back well below limitations. And I would say it's the cleanest protein powder out there. I've yet to find a protein powder that is as clean, as pure, and the standards are as high as ours, as Bethany's Pantry. I highly suggest go check out Bethany's Pantry. You won't regret it. It's not going to be overly sweet. I do want to tell you that. One more thing. It's not going to taste like a McDonald's milkshake, because if you're used to overly sweet tasting milkshakes or protein powders that have stevia and monk fruit and all these different ingredients. It's not like that because it doesn't have those ingredients, right? So don't think it's going to be some crazy sweet milkshake. If you do want to sweeten it, add a banana, add some fruit, mix it up. It tastes so good. I honestly just add water. My husband does too. He says it's the best mixing because he's mixed other protein powders and they're like super clumpy, super chalky. He's like, this isn't chunky. This isn't chalky. It's nothing. He says, mine's the best. So take my husband's word for it. Take my word for it. Try it out. I'll put a link in today's show notes so you can find it, or just go to bethanysPantry.com. I hope this was helpful. And I really hope that you not just look at your protein powder ingredients, but I hope that you look at the ingredients in everything that you are consuming or considering buying, because these ingredients are in many different, quote, food items. And knowing what these ingredients are can help you make better decisions for yourself and your family. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Wellness Loud production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To check out more shows by my team, go to wellnessloud.com, and to email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.
Are you ready to rock middle age? I'm Dr. Tina Moore, Gen X truth teller and holistic physician. On the Dr. Tina Show, one of Apple Podcast's top alternative health shows, I share what actually works for metabolic health, hormones, and strength, backed by decades of clinical results, not trends. From loving the gym and hitting your protein goals to peptides and microdosing GLP-1s, it's all done the right way, not the hype way. Because menopause doesn't have to suck if you're fit. New episodes every Thursday, produced by Drake Peterson and Wellness Loud.